Hey guys, welcome to the Professor Crazy YouTube channel. I'm a stand-up comedian who tells funny or absurd stories about unexpected experiences. Today, I've got a hilarious story for you about a parent's embarrassing habits. Get ready to laugh until your stomach hurts, because this story is going to make you laugh until tears come out. So, how about we jump right into the story? Let's go. So, here's the story of a teenage boy named Mike, living in a small town in the United States. Mike is at the height of his teenage years, a huge fan of rock music, with long hair and a penchant for leather jackets. Mike's dad, Mr. Bob, has some unique habits that often embarrass Mike to no end. One of these habits is Mr. Bob's love for karaoke in their garage every Saturday night. The problem is, Mr. Bob always sings oldies like YMCA, while dressed in a police costume, complete with oversized sunglasses. Can you imagine chilling in your room and suddenly hearing your 50-year-old dad singing YMCA, while dancing wildly? What's worse is when Mike's friends come over to do homework together. While they're working seriously, suddenly from the garage comes, "Young man, there's no need to feel down," followed by Mr. Bob's loud laughter. Mike's friends burst out laughing, and Mike can only hide his face with a pillow. It's super embarrassing. One day, Mike had to give a presentation at school about local culture. Mr. Bob, who fancies himself a karaoke expert, offered to help with Mike's presentation. He said, "How about I sing a cultural song for your presentation? It'll be fun, right?" Mike just stared at him and said, "No, Dad. Please, no." But Mr. Bob wouldn't give up. He showed up at Mike's school on the day of the presentation, and just as Mike was presenting, Mr. Bob burst in from the back of the room, wearing a Native American costume, complete with feathers and face paint. He started singing and dancing YMCA with a local cultural twist. Everyone in the class laughed, and Mike just wished he could disappear. Mr. Bob's quirky habits didn't stop there. Another embarrassing habit of his is his pre-dinner speeches. Every family dinner, Mr. Bob insists on making a speech, and they're always bizarre. Once, during Thanksgiving, Mr. Bob made a speech about how he was grateful to be eating turkey and not being a turkey. Everyone at the dinner table exchanged looks while trying to hold back their laughter. Even Mike's usually serious grandma ended up laughing. Another hilarious story is when Mike brought his girlfriend, Jenny, home for dinner for the first time. Mike had begged Mr. Bob to behave normally. But of course, Mr. Bob couldn't resist. During dinner, he started talking about his youth, claiming he used to be a rock star. He started playing the fork like a guitar and making electric guitar sounds with his mouth. "Dreeing, dreeing. I used to play in a band, you know?" Mike and Jenny exchanged glances, trying to hold in their laughter. Mr. Bob's fashion sense is another source of embarrassment for Mike. Mr. Bob often wears outfits with clashing colors, like neon green pants paired with a pink floral shirt. Worse, he often wears these outfits to pick Mike up from school. Imagine Mike chatting with his friends outside school, and suddenly Mr. Bob shows up in huge sunglasses, a cowboy hat, neon green pants, and a pink floral shirt, shouting, "Mike, let's go. Dad's here to pick you up." Mike's friends burst out laughing, and Mike just runs to the car without saying a word. During summer, Mike's family often goes on beach vacations. Mr. Bob has a unique beach habit, building absurd sand sculptures. Once, he built a sand dinosaur with a giant head and a tiny body. Then he took photos next to it wearing a colorful beach hat. Mike could only shake his head, hoping none of his school friends were vacationing at the same beach. The pinnacle of Mr. Bob's antics was during a neighborhood Halloween costume contest. Mike had begged his dad to wear something normal. But Mr. Bob showed up dressed as his own superhero creation. He wore a bright blue tight suit, red underwear over it, and a cape made from a tablecloth. He called himself Super Bob. To top it off, Mr. Bob won the costume contest because everyone in the neighborhood laughed so hard at him. Mike could only cover his face with both hands, thinking, why does my dad have to be like this? Despite often embarrassing Mike, Mr. Bob genuinely loves his son. He always tries to make Mike laugh and be happy. Once, when Mike was heartbroken after Jenny broke up with him, Mr. Bob took him to karaoke in the garage. This time, Mr. Bob sang "We Are the Champions," dressed as a king, complete with a cardboard crown. Mike, who was initially upset, ended up laughing hysterically at his dad's antics. At that moment, Mike realized that despite the embarrassment, he was lucky to have a dad who always tried to make him happy. Another hilarious story is Mr. Bob's attempt to surprise Mike on his birthday. Mike hoped for a cool party with friends and good music. But Mr. Bob had other ideas. He threw a dinosaur-themed birthday party, decorating the house with balloons and posters of dinosaurs. Mr. Bob even dressed up as a T-Rex. Mike's friends who came over couldn't stop laughing at Mr. Bob dancing in the T-Rex costume. Mike, initially embarrassed, eventually joined in the laughter because of how ridiculous the situation was. Mike often felt like his life was like a character in a comedy movie. Every day, there was something ridiculous involving Mr. Bob. Like the time at a family dinner, Mr. Bob, known for his dad jokes, suddenly started doing stand-up comedy. He said, "Why can't turkeys sing? Because they always lose their drumsticks." Everyone at the table burst out laughing, and Mike just shook his head, smiling wryly. There's also the time when Mr. Bob became a TikTok sensation. Thanks to Mike's younger sister posting Mr. Bob's antics, his dancing and singing videos went viral. One of the most viral videos was Mr. Bob singing Baby Shark in a shark costume in the middle of the street. The video got millions of views and became a hot topic at Mike's school. Mike's friends would say, "Hey, isn't that your dad dancing to Baby Shark?" Mike could only nod and laugh, feeling both proud and embarrassed. Despite his silliness, Mr. Bob is a supportive parent. When Mike participated in a school music competition, Mr. Bob was the loudest cheerleader. He brought a huge banner that said "Go Mike," "Rock the stage," and dressed up as a rock star, complete with a long wig. Although Mike was a bit embarrassed, he also felt proud to have a dad who supported him with such enthusiasm and spirit. One of Mike's most memorable moments was when Mr. Bob surprised the family for their anniversary. He rented a movie theater and invited all their friends and family. On the big screen, Mr. Bob played a compilation video of their funniest and most touching family moments. Everyone in the theater laughed and cried, watching the video. Mike, who had felt embarrassed by his dad's antics, realized that all those silly memories were a part of their family's happiness. So, even though Mr. Bob often embarrasses Mike with his quirky habits, Mike knows it's all done out of love. Mr. Bob's antics are his unique way of making their lives full of laughter and happiness. Mike learned to accept and love his dad with all his quirks. In the end, laughter is a part of the beautiful memories they will always cherish. And who knows, maybe one day Mike will become a quirky dad to his own kids. So guys, that's the story of embarrassing but hilarious parents. Pretty funny, right? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more funny stories. Stay crazy, stay happy, and keep smiling. See you in the next video. Bye bye.